Diesel meets his match. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. When a famous visitor with 2 tenders came to the island of Sodor, Gordon the Big Engine was very proud. He thought that if he had 2 tenders, he would feel more important. But Devious Diesel had said that tenders would not save a steam engine, and that diesels didn't need tenders to feel important. Gordon had been cross ever since, and wondered how he could pay Diesel out. "You keep letting him get to you," grumbled Thomas. "I have to admit, he is right in some way. I remember when I first came here, and how you all thought that the Fat Controller had given you all tenders to show how important you were." "It's not that," sighed Gordon. "There's never been a diesel with a tender to show his importance. I just wish I could prove him wrong." And before Thomas could say anything else, Gordon huffed away. But little did the Fat Controller's engines know that Gordon's wish was about to come true. A few weeks later, the Fat Controller's railway received a new visitor. He was a very strange-looking engine. He had a long rectangular shape, 6 large wheels, and 4 small bogie wheels. What was more interesting was that the visitor had a tender. On the sides read the English Electric Company. This was an experimental diesel-powered tender engine, who of course went by the name of Basil. Basil was nothing compared to what the engines had seen before, but they all admitted he looked very smart indeed. Gordon was waiting at the big station with the express. He was surprised to find the Fat Controller emerge from his office. "Perhaps he's come to see me off," he thought. But just then a loud horn sounded, and Basil came into view. "Ah," said the Fat Controller. "Gordon, I'd like you to meet Basil. He's an experimental diesel-powered tender engine, and he'll be working with you on the express." "So you're Gordon," observed Basil. "The engines of the other railway speak highly of you." "Oh, thank you," stuttered Gordon. He was secretly impressed. Basil got on very well with the other engines, and they wished he could stay longer. Gordon was more pleased with Basil's work. But now he started to wonder what would happen if Basil came across Diesel. Diesel, on the other hand, had not been enjoying the last few weeks. His fuel tank had recently been contaminated with very bad fuel. He was still in good working order, but the fuel was horrible. It billowed nasty green smoke from his radiators, and he had a hard time stopping and starting whenever he was shunting. While he was working at the harbour, Diesel's engine could no longer take the fuel. As he turned a corner, he coughed, spluttered, and stopped. No matter what his driver or second engineer could do, Diesel would not move. "That's torn it," grumbled the driver. "We'll have to get help now." He and the second man went to go off and find someone to help Diesel, who sulked and whimpered, waiting for the help to come. Time went by, and Diesel slowly began to think that he had been forgotten. That was until a loud horn sounded, and Basil appeared with a fuel tanker filled to the brim with clean fuel for Diesel. Diesel's eyes gaped open when he saw the majestic shape of Basil. "I hear you need a bit of help," Basil offered kindly. He watched as Diesel's tank was emptied of the bad contaminated fuel, and the clean fuel was soon put in. "Thank you," Diesel whimpered quietly. "I must admit you are a very important engine." "The pleasure's all mine," smiled Basil. "Just doing me job." And before Diesel knew it, Basil was off. As Diesel limped back to work, he slowly realised he had a lot to think about. regarding what he'd said to Gordon about Diesel's not needing tenders to feel important.